Next game will be against FURIA, and they actually added a new player, NZR, and we know a lot about him just because he was on Leviathan. He's IGLing actually for that squad now, so they will definitely have a little bit of a surprise factor going into it.
Estar na FURIA é desafio para mim. Fazia tempo que queria ser capitão também e sentia que a FURIA estava precisando disso. Então, como eu gosto do desafio, realmente queria entrar no time. Minha expectativa geralmente sempre vai ser baseada no jogo que a gente tem à frente, né? A gente tem um plano do jogo para cada confronto, mas obviamente com a expectativa de que a gente consiga encaixar mais nossos jeitos de jogar durante o split.
É apenas o Manito contra dois jogadores! Uma máquina! NZR vence o clutch!
Vai ter um tempo também de adaptação. Eu sei que se a gente conseguir colocar um plano em cada jogo e a gente conseguir encaixar as ideias, a gente daria muito bem.
Welcome back to week 2 of VCT Americas, and our second match of the day is going to be NRG versus FURIA. I'm Golden Boy on the desk. Once again, we got Wyatt, G2 Shazam, also Dub. Wait, I pointed at Wyatt. I said Wyatt there. That's so funny.
I'm flattered.
But hey,
that's a compliment. I'll take it.
Good-looking guy. You know what I mean? He's tall.
You guys.
You know, Doug. No, okay. This is Doug. That's Shazam. This is Wyatt, and I'm unfortunately Golden Boy. So hello, everyone. Welcome back. As we dive into this one, it's going to be an exciting matchup for NRG fans. For FURIA fans, I'm sure they're waiting on bated breath because this is going to be a tall order. Nasser said he wanted a challenge. Well, he certainly did get one with NRG here. Let's talk, though, about one of NA's finest teams, NRG, who looked good during kickoff. And they also look good in stage 1. And here's the thing. They took down their old nemesis in Loud 2-0. And they didn't just 2-0 them, Shazam. One of those was a 13-2. I mean, NRG looks fierce.
Yeah, they look solid, honestly. And I think it's a great starting point for them.
Yeah.
You know, we go back to our favorite phrase. They look like a sum of all their units. Right? And that's where you can build off from.
I think every time we've said that, it's been a different variation of the phrase, too.
Yeah.
I don't think we've gotten it right.
And you know what's funny? Last time you said that, it was about Leviathan, and then this time you said it about MIBR. So there's I don't know if this is a good boding well for NRG.
No, that was Wyatt.
That was me.
Oh, it was you. That was you.
That was me.
Okay, never mind. I take it all back. We can relax. We can breathe a sigh of relief. But yeah, I mean, this NRG team has been very impressive to watch. Yeah. Despite them not making it to Madrid, I think a lot of people were still very big on what the 5 of these players can accomplish.
Yeah, you know, we talked about this yesterday. I feel like they could be the scariest team in Americas, and I think because of that, I've got them rated so high. I will say, though, the series last week, you kind of have to throw map 2 away. Right, it was 13-2. Loud they hadn't been scrimming, they hadn't been playing together, so you kind of get rid of that one. But you look at the first map, you look at Breeze, and you go, okay, they have really cool ideas. I love what they're doing with Demon 1 with Jet. Shocker. I love that Ethan's running Yoru, and I love how they're playing around that. You saw a lot of really cool conditioning, like sending Clone down halls and manipulating rotations over the other side of the map. I love what they're doing, and I think because of that, there's a lot of reason to be excited. Sunset notwithstanding. I think if you just look at Breeze, you go, yeah, these guys are the truth. And that was the expectation from the beginning, right? Like, we knew they were going to be good. This roster on paper, unlike, well, maybe it then showed up yesterday. But this is the roster that you go, yeah, okay, these guys are going to be
They should pop off.
These should be world enders.
Yeah. And honestly, they could very well be that case. Even though they didn't make it to Madrid, I don't think that reflected on the team at all. It was an incredibly competitive tournament, and only 2 teams were able to go and represent each region, so someone was going to get left out. But for now, though, we'll continue the conversation, but we're going to send it over to Geek Heavy, who's standing by with the Iceman.
We got the NRG crew walking through right now. Mars right over here. All right, so I got to ask you, who would you give a free sub to, Ethos or Sam?
I'll probably choose Sam. That's my guy. Ethos is good, but yeah, I'd have to choose Sam. And if I was to choose anybody, probably be Shanks.
Oh, really? Okay, why?
He's the GOAT. Shanks is literally the GOAT. I don't think anyone can beat that guy, so that's my guy.
All right, you heard it here first. Back to you, GB.
This guy is just, oh man. Well, at least we know now with the NRG people, Sam's getting some love here. So Ethos in the bin with you. Oh, no sub, no free sub for
Poor
you,
guy
buddy.
literally just like, we started talking about him today. already gone. That's brutal. Hate it for him.
All right, well, let's go ahead and dive into Marv and talk a little bit more about him, because Wyatt, this is a guy who was brought to this team, and everyone was like, this makes so much sense. He fits with the old Optic core. He's going to elevate guys like Ethan and Demon 1. There's a lot that Marv brings to the table for NRG.
Yeah, absolutely. Last week was easily the best game he's had so far on this NRG team. Like, he was good during kickoff, but most of the time, in the games that they were winning, it honestly just felt like he didn't have to really do anything. Like, he was kind of just, he was filling his role, but he never had to be standout because you have the Demon 1 Ethan duo that's just gonna fry. But last week, we got to see the return of the Marv that we were used to seeing back when Optic were winning tournaments internationally, placing high internationally, back, whatever that was, 2 years ago at this point.
Yeah, I would argue that that was the best Marv that we've seen since, not just this year, since his entire time on Sentinels and further back, right? Like, we need to roll back the tape to get to the last time I saw Marv have a performance like that. And I think a lot of it was, yes, he's been filling his role. He's been doing what's been asked of him. And again, as you mentioned, you've got Ethan and Demon 1 who they're going to do their thing. But I think he took agency in the last time that we saw them play up against LATAM. I think that was the big difference maker there, because I think if you go all the way back to the beginning, Marv made a living off of really aggressive timings and off of just like diving back lines in situations where you wouldn't expect it, right? And that's what caused so many fits. And we saw him do a bit of that last weekend, and we hadn't really seen that for a long time, be it because it just wasn't his play style, be it because it wasn't what the team needed at the time, but he's reverted to that, and I think that's a scary NRG. Yeah. When Marv is back to doing his thing, when you know what you're gonna get with Demon 1 and Vic and Crashies and those guys, like, that's a terrifying roster.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's really found his place in this team. We saw glimpses of his lyrics and timings, even on his time on Sen, but he's really got a solidified role for that, and the team sets him up for that. He's taking these timings, he's getting multi-frags when you might not even expect it, and that's really where he shines.
Yeah, it feels like outside of a few minor adjustments that we're seeing, like Ethan, for example, going into the IGL role, it does feel as if everyone here is just able to play a role that they're comfortable in. And comfortable energy is scary.
And Marv getting out of the IGL role.
True.
Which he was doing with Sen. Now he just focused on his own game.
Yeah.
A lot of clutches like he did last week, be impactful in the lay-around.
Yeah, that is certainly going to play a factor here. And I think it goes without saying that the deck is currently stacked quite a lot against FURIA today. But it's important to note, too, that this is a squad that has struggled as well. They have struggled to be able to pick up those wins. May 2023, last time they were able to win a BO3. And since then, they have found, map wins here and there, Wyatt. But honestly, this is a FURIA that has a tall task ahead of them.
We said the same thing about 100 Thieves. They hadn't won until or since May 2023.
Dude, stop.
What, Doug?
There's no way you're going to stand
Allow
here
me to
and try to
spin
sell
this
me on this.
really bad narrative.
Spin the narrative.
Let me spin this really false, really terrible narrative. Listen, I have some hope in FURIA, not to win this game, but I think if they can even keep it close and have a competitive game, a good sign, because Noswar was brought in pretty late. I really respect Noswar as a player a lot, and bringing in a new IGL to revamp this team from where they were at in kickoff, crucial. And last week, MW, pretty bad series, and that's pretty rare for that guy.
Yeah.
He's a freak, so I'm expecting him to be in better form.
That's fair. Okay. Are you contesting this one, Shazam?
No, I think that if they show a competitive showing, they should be proud. I think, well, like you said, Noswar had some great moments in the last week's matchup, and hope to see, I don't see them taking out NRG, but hope to see them put up a good fight.
Yeah, for sure. There's certainly, it will be difficult. There's just no sugarcoating it. But we were saying the same thing yesterday about Leviathan. I mean, everyone here, you guys were just all, not me, but you guys were all so negative, So, I mean, would history repeat itself today again, Doug?
There's just no way, man. Yeah. It doesn't even feel like the deck is stacked against them. It feels like they don't have cards to play in this hand. There's just no way. I think when you look from top to bottom, when you consider that Noswar is a late addition who maybe with some time is going to be able to implement a lot of things, maybe, but this may be a little harsh, but Nazar's been handed a couple of ingredients to try to put together something tasty, but if the ingredients aren't great to begin with, the final product probably isn't going to be great either. And the truth is, as good as Nazar can be, MW, you're right, is a freak. And I love what MW does, and I think he's insane too, but I just don't know that there's enough to stack up here.
That's fair. It makes a lot of sense. And I will say, though, for guys like Nazar, there's just going to be so much work ahead of him here because he's going to have to deal with all the pieces, Wyatt, of NRG at once. And that is so challenging to do in NRG shooting the way that they shoot.
Nazar has always been a really consistent player, and way back when on FURIA, he was crucial, I think, in them being one of the breakout Brazilian teams that was showing a lot more team play than the others at the time. That was allowing them to do pretty decent at international events. My focus for him is I need him as an IGL to revamp this team because what they were showing in Kickoff was really formulaic, super basic. Everything was just being invested in MW all the time. One win con wasn't paying off. I just need to see him revamp this team, which, listen, I'm putting a lot on his shoulders. It's a tall task, but I think that's kind of what you need from him.
Yeah, I don't think it's a foreign concept to him. In the interview, he said that he knew that this is a team he could bring value to. He knew that it's going to be a challenge. And so I'm sure he knows that it's going to be a work in progress. Maybe it's going to take some time to build it, and they might not see results immediately, but seems like he's willing to take that job.
Yeah, that definitely stands out to me. And I also kind of got to reflect on, Crew, right? Even though, FURIA had been taken out by Crew last week, I think it does resemble a little bit of that, right? A lot of investment into Kesnet. They were not sure if they were going to be able to, get those wins just putting so much into one person. It's kind of the same thing with what happened with NW's era. So there certainly is going to be a lot of hope here for Nazar. But speaking of NW's era, he's actually going to be standing by with Geek Heavy to get his thoughts leading into this matchup. Let's take a listen.
They're the boys right now from FURIA. Right over here, NW's era. All right, so I got to ask you, how do you prepare to face off against a duelist like Demon One?
Como é que você se prepara para enfrentar duelista como o Demon One?
Confesso que eu não fico pensando muito nisso. Ele é um bom jogador, ele é muito bom. Só que eu não fico muito com isso na cabeça, sabe? Ele, sei lá, é um bom jogador, a gente tá preparado no coletivo, não pensa muito no individual dos outros, e é isso.
We don't think about this a lot. He's a good player, but we don't think about other teams as individuals, but also, so we are prepared to collectively face all teams. But he's a very good player.
Well, you heard it here first. You don't need no holy water for this Demon One. Back to you, GB.
Again, this guy he's literally GB2. I mean, it's just...
Hakeem, again, I love you, buddy. This is the best. This is making my day. I'm having a great time out here. Well, you know what, though? We talked about it. Might as well go ahead and compare the two, because we got MW's era versus Demon One today. And no matter what, this is always going to be an exciting matchup, Shazam, because you got two just fantastic duelists that are going to be going toe-to-toe against one another today.
No, definitely. I mean, we know what to expect out of Demon One every single time we watch him play. It's going to be flashy.
Yeah.
He's going to get away with kills that, you don't expect them to. And then MW0 was like, I remember at the beginning of Valorant, he was hailed as like, the GOAT of Brazilian Valorant. There was a lot of talk around his name, and so I'm looking forward to this.
Yeah, I mean, the stats that we were seeing behind us were not looking good for MW because they were last week. So if you were to compare, Kickoff, what was happening there, and some of the off-season tournaments that FURIA were participating in, he was going crazy. And what's been so impressive about him for me is that forever he had been known as pretty much a pure rifle player. He would off here and there, but his rifling was so much significantly better. He had a nickname that was translated just 2 bullets because everyone was so used to him with a Phantom just immediately dinking everybody twice and getting kills. But his off this year has been outrageous. He is looking like one of the top level offers in the game, and that is a new development for his arsenal. And against Demon One, another one of the top offers in the game, if he could show up this week, should be some fireworks.
I think part of the issue here, for as much as MW has delivered and as good as he's been, as much as he's developed and added additional tools to his repertoire, the problem, I think, when you think about this matchup is, especially for NRG, Demon One finds a ton of value on his own, but he also is set up so well.
Yeah,
I mean, the work that Crashies and Ethan do to set Demon One up into really aggressive positions, to assist into these kills, it really becomes more of a something by committee where I don't know that FURIA don't have those same tools, right? They don't have the same setup prowess that you're getting out of Crashies and Ethan and those guys. So I think, yeah, maybe if you're just isolating the two, Demon One has a lead over MW, but it may not be as big. But when you put all those other factors in, the gap becomes enormous.
Yeah, there are so many things that work against FURIA in this matchup because of just how drilled this NRG team is. Why, real fast, before we throw to the game here, I mean, are we assuming a 2-0 NRG should be able to walk out of this one swimmingly? If they don't, are we concerned?
I don't know if I'll necessarily be concerned about NRG. I think hopefully that has more to say about FURIA actually making some serious progress and stepping up if they can keep it close.
Yeah, I do.
But
like
NRG
that.
have to win.
Yeah, I mean,
they're going to win.
Makes sense, right? It should be. I mean, NRG look absolutely outstanding. FURIA still a team that is on the build. So, Doug, you're also going NRG 2-0 out of the gate here?
Yeah, I think so. I do like what you said. If FURIA walks away with a map or a win, this speaks volumes into what Nasra has been able to do for that squad.
All right, well, I like where your head's at. Let's go ahead and see how this all plays out. Walkouts are ready to go, so let's go ahead and bring our players to the stage.
Riot Games Arena. Vamos receber os times do próximo jogo. E eles vêm furiosos pela vitória. FURIA!
Make some noise for their opponents and give a big welcome to NRG!
Gotta say, I love that NRG tossing the shirts out to the crowd, winning the fans over with free clothing. That's how you gotta do it, baby. You know, every team should come out and do that.
Yeah, who doesn't like free stuff?
Yeah.
I'd have been in the crowd.
I can love free stuff, man. I've been like my whole career, literally all the clothing I'm wearing right now. Didn't even pay for it. In case though, we got ourselves a great matchup here for NRG. For FURIA, it's going to be a difficult task, but if there's one thing that we know about VCT Americas, Wyatt, it's that no matter what, these games, the region, it's so close that anything can happen. This isn't like out of the realm of possibility, but goodness gracious, it's going to be a tall, as I said before, task from FURIA to pull off.
FURIA didn't have a terrible game against NRG. When they met in Kickoff, it was reasonable enough that at the time, it kind of felt like, all right, this FURIA team, there might be a little bit something there.
Yeah.
And then they kind of just fell off from there and went out in kind of tragic fashion. But now revamped, Nas were in. Again, I still have a bit of hope because the skill from the players on the team is there. So listen, I'm clinging on by a thread here, GB.
Okay.
I'm clinging on by a thread because I'm the #1 MW fan of the last 4
dude,
years.
I'm an MW fan as well, man. You know, like having chatted with him and seen also like the amount of work that he puts out into the server, it's hard not to be a fan of the guy. But you do want to see a little bit more from this FURIA roster. Here goes your map layout. You got Split, Breeze, and if necessary, we'll be taking a trip over to Bind. But we get Split and Breeze out of the gate, and I won't lie to you guys, that Breeze scares the crap out of me. If you are FURIA, that is going to be a tough one to have to play against, you know, the likes of Demon One on when he's just going to be running roughshod Shazam all over them.
No, for sure. Even going to Split, I remember before they were trying to prioritize the op on Demon One.
Yeah.
And it wasn't quite working out. And the next time around, they had him on the raise, and he looked like a natural.
Yeah, which is scary, man. I mean, you don't This guy could just pretty much float into anything that you need him in that duelist role, and he will find value with that, Doug.
Yeah, and I think that's what you would expect from Demon One, right? I'm really curious to see if they made any adjustments to this, to their comp, because the last time we saw him play Split, it was in Kickoff, it was against Sentinels, and yeah, Demon One looked great, but it didn't really go their way.
They also ran into Sentinels on Split. So.
Right, yeah, tough treading no matter who you are. So I'm super curious to see what it is that they play and how they choose to approach this. I also
like that, Yoru?
Yeah, low-key, I kind of dig that.
I like this setup here. You got the Yoru kind of
giving K-Corp.
Oh, okay.
Basically.
Explain.
Wait, old or
what's
your work?
New K-Corp.
Yeah.
Okay,
no, not the old K-Corp. What the hell are you talking
man?
about? Who would be talking about the old K-Corp? I'm talking about the new one where they have Yoru.
Oh, double duelist on the other side. So you got Demon One on the Jet and Victor back on the Raze, which Victor Raze, I mean, I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Well, guys, here we go. Our last match of the day. Sorry about that, Shazam. I'll get you back on the half. We'll go ahead and talk a little bit more about this. And let's jump into the action. Send it over to my boys. You got Vancillion Rib on the call.
Thank you, GB. Yeah, we may be boomers, but at the same time, I'm like, I don't remember an old K-Corp. I just remember new K-Corp now, bringing this Yoru for energy, for FURIA. But what I love actually for today, Riv, is that both of these teams are playing double duelists. I'm looking for a riveting fight at the beginning of this map on Split.
That's me. Lots of action to come into this one. We're not really seeing a lot of the double duelists lately. We're getting the lurk plays, a lot of the Sky Rays, taking mid control, but no. Des mentioned already, we get the Yoru in here. You're seeing Martine and Carmine Core play this. Fnatic also has Durka stretch into this Split as well, so we are seeing it around in other regions right now. Do NRG have the answer for that, though? Or FURIA, rather, have the answer for that, though? And NRG, are they going to be able to read it? We'll see how they play. We're expecting NRG to go quite fast with the double duelist comp. We know Tried and Chew as the Jet and the Raze. As they start off towards B, good A control from FURIA is going to allow a strong sight hold to start. As here comes the hit.
Definitely fast. Both duelists going in.
They can't get in.
Separated by the snake bite. Victor now being fully flashed, but there's no contact yet from both sides. Heavily damaged. Order players of energy as 3 players now fall. Finally, Crashies moves in and answers back. But Nozor is at the top. They have perfect angles here. They get a dog kill onto MW0. Room to breathe. Hope now for energy as Ethan surprises Khalil. Kill him to a 2 versus 1. Up to Ethan having a clutch. The IGL now for energy. Denied by FURIA. As coming out with a new comp. They also get the first pistol.
Right choice on the defensive side, confirmed by Havoc's push over towards the A alt orb in that first Viper bite that we had coming out, the snake bite rather, from Conan, just delaying everything energy wanted to bring behind Demons One dash in. So that little stall out gave FURIA enough time to clap back. We do have the Outlaw coming through. Looks like they'll play that towards A. Just a 2-1-2 here. Energy is going to push for the same strat, condition that they could go hard towards B, but they're making sure Marv has an idea of what the lurk could be this time, just for a moment. Pushed off, orb control coming in for Havoc, already onto 3 with the first few frags in the round there. And it's gonna be quiet for this one. Ramp controls gained. It looks like it's gonna be a mid to B here, or at least a mid hit if they can get a kill there, maybe through vents, but yeah, this is an energy sourcing information round.
Energy at the beginning of the round seems like they were really trying to get that orb so that Crashies could get those Seekers at the ACP. Yeah. So nice to know about FURIA to start things off. All 5 players of energy now grouped up on middle. So hard to fight against all of this util that you have on the Viper playing top mid. That's Conan there. Cycling orbs, cycling smokes, getting the snake bites. So energy getting denied beginning of the round, now mid round on both the entrance of B and middle.
They still have everything for Crashies. Just 1 minus blast pack for Victor here, so this is the sight hit they want to see. Having Havoc's nade come out, Energy's very happy to have seen that. They go for the B hit again with this lurk from Mars, still in mid.
I like this though, pathing around the orange line. Also pulling out the flash to actually blind a player and get the pick. Name of the game is just trying to get the spike down right after with 24 seconds left, but the spike's down and out in the open.
Yep.
Very difficult for Energy to recuperate this. Long range now, Outlaw double kill from NW0. Decent second round there for FURIA, but some good damage done on the side of the attack.
Yeah, Energy did not want to go quietly on that one. They said, we're taking a few at least. strategy would have been to get the spike down for that extra cash, but FURIA is just too quick to react, even knowing that there was going to be that lurk there. They rotate through spawn, or possibly the lurk in mid. They rotate through spawn, and Marv is forced to come into sight. So we'll see what Marv can continue to do on the lurk if he is left off, but it looks like NRG wants to keep this stack together for now. 3 times in a row we're starting here. And this time even faster, Vansili.
Yeah. Close range too, no time to TP away. First entry, but quickly gets traded out by Khalil. The rest of the cavalry's there for NRG just behind the entry from Victor. And they opened up the B site for a plant, and a great start, really catching that outlaw out of position.
What an interesting start to this game. NRG 3 times towards B. It's not something we usually see. This time it hits on, but now FURIA for the following rounds can have to consider, are they gonna do that again? It seems like they can't stop it for now if it's just going to be Victor in the follow.
Our last one is going to be Khalil. It's pretty much stuck. There's so many smokes around that site. NRG is playing just behind it. Khalil trying to find some sort of timing. Here's a reload just behind him. Peeks back out, and Marv is just on the side to greet him. NRG, they invested in the go round, and they score finally.
So now does FURIA go for B main control, or more so mid control, so they can fight from heaven, retake, and not have to be so invested into sight? Because this conditioning towards B is definitely going to play on your mind. Good cleanups in sight, finding the necessary frags to finish this one off. And like you said, a few members staying alive, so it's not going to be too bad. Yeah, so FURIA still want to put that pressure onto B, making sure they have it, but now NRG switch to A for the first time. Paranoia on ramps. And we go right away again. That timing is incredible.
Looks like we're going to continue to get that fight between Victor and NW0 at the beginning. Seekers coming out on the A site, and that's going to push Noswar away. FURIA will have to play the retake at this point with all the info out of the Seekers. Even making sure here we get a safe plant. Giving it over to Victor.
Retake slightly split. They're trying to do the 3-1 for screens. Maybe Havoc drops an 8 in sight to disperse, and that's when they start to come out. This is going to be tough, though.
Yeah, with that spike plant, you're just going to have to play inside the site. The crossfires are just really good. Good position coming out of NRG. Very clean post-plant hold to tie up the game.
Whoa.
Okay, we know
NRG's finding that once they got to the bonus round and then this first gun-to-gun round, those basic strats are hitting. That was a B hit for the 1 for bonus, and this was A ramp. Paranoid, look at the assists on that too, right? Sky and Omen off the back there. What is MW0 supposed to do when you're actually attacked by 3 people? But it's just going to be Victor bouncing up into your face off of that util. So yeah, gonna have to consider how they play ramp. They do have the flash back up from 2 now, as FURIA are playing to the conditioning of NRG to now support this ramp control.
Got 3 players there, all with stingers. Showstopper at the ready for NRG should they need to use it. But nobody's moving towards the ramp. Everybody's at the entrance. Players are actually split off across. Both duelists inside sight, and the other ones are stuck behind. Maybe have to wait here for Marv to blow the wall back up. But there's the attack on the defense. Showstopper to help out. A quick trade to start things off. The rest of FURIA pull back and they hold on the top of the ramp. Greeted by Marv, nice little shot. Now as they push down, great off-angle positions everywhere from NRG. And now even position for trades, even saving teammates. What a nice little wall there on the attack just to keep Crashies alive behind the wall. Victor alive behind the wall, rather. And Khalil now stuck with nothing. 45 HP. Stinger and the Spike Planet for NRG inside the site. Demon 1 was the one that kept pushing towards the spawn and gets the pick.
3 rounds towards B, 3 towards A. NRG hasn't even messed with mid that much except for 1 Marv lurk, so I feel like they can start to mess with a lot of timing here if they want to throw some varied rounds in. Across the map, they go for a default. FURIA does look to set up with a hard sight towards A as we see this play once again. Almost thought it was 2, but the clone gets hit on that. And Marv watching the flank. Demon 1 there. Their shots are just on right now. Finding the head of FURIA. Low buy across that for armor on the side of FURIA here. We'll have to see how this retake works. The way that NRG, the speed they're getting into sites and being able to entrench themselves, FURIA cannot get in. That lurk from Marv is going to stay towards B this time.
First avoiding the flash. There's a swing. First contact. Havoc throwing the pain shell. Still a 1 versus 1 against Demon 1. The rest of them now falling back. They have a lot of space here for energy for wherever they want to work around the map here on Split. As Marv is still there at the entrance of the B main. Now starting to engage towards the entrance of the A site though. Energy trying to find a perfect timing, trying to punish some mistakes on over-peaking coming out from FURIA. But they are also playing very, very safely on the defensive side.
Yeah, Marv is saying who wants this orb and be main, also giving info. MWZera is going to go on a fact-finding mission here in the drift. A lot of info. You see a bit of a rotation now coming in from Conan, but they have to keep 1B to watch this lurk.
That's why Khalil's just going to stay behind on that B side. You already see the pivot from Conan down towards middle. There's 30 seconds left on the clock. Middle's open. Energy doesn't know it yet, but they are looking to clear it together. And it'll still end up being 2 players inside the B site. A last-second hit, pivoting towards this B site. First smoke. Attempt of delays, early paranoia, but Marv found the timing. First blood in the round. Khalil stuck in the back of the site, hides inside the smoke. Showstopper out on the defense. 10 seconds left on the clock. Showstopper connects onto Marv. Crashy's trying to answer back and tap on the spike. White Swings gets the kill. Then Demon One for the save. Will the plant go down? It will successfully. A 1 versus 2. Nosler makes it a 1v1. Sky versus Sky. Crashes into spawn. That's planet for him. Nosler looking to reposition. He's looking back towards the spawn. All Crashes needs to do here is to wait it out. Use all the time in his favor because he also has a flash to work with on the tap of a spike. There's that tap. Crash is still waiting and continue to play that time here. Now there's a jiggle. Nosler was looking in the wrong place. There's that flash, and it's going to take a while here. You have to at least get it halfway for Nosler, so he sticks it. A peek on the reload. Now it's not even at half. You can definitely see here that Crashies could stay cool under the pressure. A nice attempt by Nosler, but NRG still gets the round.
That round from NRG, to be able to walk through the map without finding anyone, and there's been no mid play from NRG. We said that before, so why would FURIA play that lower advantage or lower position where you probably won't find the advantage? Play towards the back. NRG's hitting the sites fast. And NRG used this conditioning to waltz through a wide open mid. 30 seconds on the round. Just the map conditioning right now. The freedom they're getting to move around is incredible. And this, thought it was going to be the lock-in, but Crashy's just playing too much. Not even close. All right, FURIA are going to call the timeout here. Start to get their thoughts organized. Not too many ultimates are going to come online, but they need to get a read on what NRG is doing to be able to take the map right now, because they're only playing the extremities, but they're getting everything they want.
That's the thing, on different tempos. So what really is the answer at this point, because you're still trying to figure it out. They've been deathballing so many of these early rounds for NRG. In that one round where they default, Marv was able to sneak through. And when they tried to fight aggressively towards A main, they were greeted by both duelists and decide to fall back and play a little bit more passively and turtle inside the site. So I almost feel at the end here, you're giving a lot of respect.
I mean, the fact that Marv like extra waited after they got Yoru drifted on the right side of the map, to say that probably took focus away from B and sneak in just after that window, but not during the window, just after they felt comfortable that FURIA had the read. That's when Marv makes the move. All right, 4-1 different split for sure. Demon 1 on A alone this time with the spike drop. NRG are just going to go ahead and allow a little bit of movement from FURIA here on this low buy. They expect a bit, and maybe this hero rifle to be used by FURIA, so much more patient round from NRG.
And that's the thing here with both teams not playing as Sentinels. You have to keep a player posted out somewhere.
Absolutely.
Not necessarily a lurk at times, but just trying to find that audio cue, especially now that FURIA has a lower buy. It was Demon One's responsibility to see if anybody was going to push down aggressively. And as he hears nothing for that minute mark that we're about to hit, all of NRG are rotating towards that area so they could scale up together.
And Marv actually just caught the paranoia coming through B main. So they know there was pressure gained on B main. They try to take the space. This lurk towards mid once again as everybody collects on the right side of the map for NRG. FURIA with good, not decent util, but they could get in.
Dog is pushing him away, but Khalil is close now with the stinger. And beautiful little trade there by Demon One. Marco Flake to get those 2 kills. A lurk is moving up from Marv. Pretty sure he heard the rotate around, so he's cutting to rotate against NW0. Easy one.
30
now B side is open, a 1v1 towards the back of the site. Steven 1 doesn't need help, he doesn't need health. He'll just do everything alone.
The reads on Furia's movement right now aren't even getting them trades, allowing them to anchor each other in these situations. And that was Demon 1, waiting for the Havoc push they've been seeing, right? Down towards A. Map on the left side was work. They see the flash coming through from Khalil. Marv can acknowledge that to the other side, and they're much more comfortable to hit the site, knowing, one, it's a low buy, and a lot of the retake util is gone. All right, round 8 here. Another look, no paranoia on ramp, just the full force by the duelists. Smoke on screens. Sorry, smoke on heaven and screens as they start to hit site.
Drop towards the air. It's the decoy actually that was being thrown out down by MW0, but they know that he's close, floating around. There's that dagger in the face. And then out to the battle in the dome of MW0. Back towards the site. Khalil gets denied by Victor. An easy plant now once again for NRG. Safe inside the site. No need to really fight towards heaven if you want to, but they will do the same for NRG. They're still going to try to push towards the heaven side. Victor is moving in alone, trying to keep Conan and Havoc at bay and also not give him a chance to save those weapons. Conan, last one to go, or last one to stand, is leaving the site. You can definitely see here towards that spawn. They're trying to hunt him down.
It's the reason we see the double duelist composition of Conan gets one, Jet and Raze on split here. As much as it's been played, as much as teams have seen it around the world, it's still almost impossible to stop that engage. One's up and over, another one coming in through the bottom of the site, and Demon 1's gone to the same spot to get a double kill at elbow both times. So they can just rinse and repeat this strat. As long as they're behind each other watching those angles, the Furia can almost do nothing. They're running that double duelist composition to max effect right now for NRG.
Yeah. And they're trying to fight at least on the early chokes of where the satchels and the dashes could be coming from. Then when it comes down to giving up sites, they want to try to fight back in the site before they have a chance, NRG that is, to take position and take position within these sites. And they still lose these fights for Furia's side. But the comp itself is still pretty decent to play this full flood retake if you want to, especially with the Yoru in your comp.
Yep.
But they're not really following that protocol yet. They haven't tried that. Seems as though they still want to try to fight into the close angles. This time it finally works out because they have a crossfire setup. Pain shells coming down. Dash away here from Demon 1. Seeker's coming out. Crashy's getting the entry towards the A site. But 3 players towards the top of the ramp on the defensive side. They drop the spike. Demon 1 has to try to pick it up. Now spotted by the boom button. The sprays comes across the screens. He's able to escape. Move inside the site and plant.
The push around from Crashies during all of this.
Gets that first one there onto Khalil, no trade. So he's gonna set that paranoia on the top of the A site now, where Furia has to now look towards A ramp and also towards screens to fight back in the site. And as soon as they're done with that, they have to deal inside of Viper's Pit, placed down by Marv. Covering hell, covering the entrance. Havoc at least from the top. He's able to take down Crashies. He's trying to fall back and heal Demon 1. 2 versus 3. One rare opportunity for Furia to get the third round in the half. Contact play, one-on-one. Marv outside of the pit as they work together to take the 3 players down of Furia. Marv and Demon 1. Frag out.
Incredible. And they lose half the team. They lose most of the team on the way in. That was an awesome round for both teams. For Furia to come out and want to fight ramps this time, catching NRG off guard to get that opening kill onto Victor. But that commitment on the play, once it started to crumble from NRG, is what you need from your team. Everybody's still going in sight. They didn't get stopped on ramp, and the instant audible to say, throw your wall up so we can re-grab Spike. And I don't know how Demon 1 danced out of those tracers, but they get the round as they're in sight after the fact. 7-2 here. Mid gets its first big focus of the game, really. It's going to get an ultimate here coming in from Conan, trying to disrupt this space that NRG hasn't even really played through.
Exactly. For NRG, it's easy. Demon 1 on the right side, off kill on the attack. The other 4 rather, a death ball. Really not focusing on any type of splits. The tap on the spike, baiting both players of FURIA peeking out. They both get denied. Conan cannot find the timing outside of this pit, so the pit is now wasted. As Nas looks like they're gonna try to fight at least early. Can they punish Victor here in the fourth position? They cannot. Might just be the call to save, and no. Not when the shot's coming through the smoke. A kill from the IGL and NRG. A strong attack half on split so far.
Oh, watch that again. And yeah, speaking of the IGL, the calls right now are incredible. I feel like NRG is just carrot on a stick right now, baiting out these plays. Okay, we're going to go to A a lot. We're going to hit A another 2 times, 3 times in a row. This time, just leave Demon 1 back because they're going to push and see if there's actually aggression. Boom. First blood coming off of that call, knowing it's either Havoc or this time MW0 to push. The reads are incredible, and it's just making it look that easy here for NRG. FURIA back onto a bit of a lower buy with the weapons here.
Double rockets on both sides, and it's actually NRG that takes the upper hand. Player advantage on their side. They want to tempo up here towards this B site. Instantly catches Khalil with the dog, force the TP back towards Hell. Finally, some delay coming through, but this is an easy reset for NRG so far.
Watching the back. Is this going to be a 3 push? At least 1 if they start to split up this team of 3 here. Khalil still watching sight. And NRG did this the first few rounds.
I like the push down, though. They want to try to get behind, and 6th sense coming out of Victor. Jump spot, spotting the shots, hearing the shots. Fake TP2 to bait some more shots. But the Pain Shells now are pushing everybody back towards B, where NRG's looking to engage. There's that flash, does not affect any players, but the trades are still really good.
My God.
Too good for NRG.
They just re-cleared mid without even taking it. A boombot and a fake TP pushes 3 off to make FURIA think, oh, they're re-clearing mid. It might be mid to A through vents. No, it was actually just a smoke heaven, and that disruption didn't allow any control for the site as B was being hit at the same time. These mid-round calls are absurd from NRG right now.
I just love that they both got hit by a Paranoia, and you have a full 180 from Havoc, and then Victor actually lands one in that corner by the orb. So one was flicking a little bit too hard here on the side of FURIA. But fast tempo for NRG this time around. Last round of the half. 9-2 is our scoreline as the A ramp is in control of NRG.
And look, they walk up A ramp this time. The reads are so disgusting. Full heaven control here. Not even more of a retake play by FURIA. They're just being separated by members of NRG walking through the defensive lines. Marv still able to watch the back too. Looks like we're getting the hit here, and Demon 1's in sight.
Nate and Dash, Seeker's out. They know now that the opponents are closer for NRG. Okay, they're not even looking at their angles actually through. But at least FURIA is able to fight back for A heaven control. This is going to be a long rotate though from Khalil.
Hardly
Seeker's
any
coming
damage.
out too. That's going to find info on the last 2 players of FURIA as well.
Yeah, waiting back to take those out. The Guardian as well to come in. This low buy hurting for the last one of the rounds.
Definitely see it here. Just waiting for the players to drop down for contact. Paranoia actually pushes Marv back a little bit. He hears all of these footsteps. We'll get a timing on the backstab again. There's that first one. Havoc trying to fight that 1v1. At least we'll be able to trade it out. 1v2, but that clock's ticking down on that spike. Too little too late here for him to get anything done. Just trying to pad some stats, trying to get warmed up for the second half potentially. And there's a nice little shot at least. But at the end of the day, it's NRG closing the half 10-2 at the lead.
That half felt like NRG had a UAV online the whole time. The way they moved, the way they were patient, drawing a bit of the utility out that they didn't want to deal with in sight. And a lot of times that was Havoc's nade, and they really don't have to worry about much other than flashes beyond that point, maybe a snake bite. It just looked like they had the run of the map.
Well, ahead of today's match, we spoke with Crashies for his thought on the competition going into stage 1. So let's check it out.
They actually added a new player going into this season, NZR, and we know a lot about him just because he was on Leviathan, and he's a pretty good initiator player, I would say. And he's IGLing actually for that squad now, so they will definitely have a little bit of a surprise factor going into it. But I think we're really comfortable playing against just FURIA in general. We have a really good track record against them, so it should be a fun game.
Good calls there by Crashies, who was talking about, maybe new surprises coming in for Noswer joining his roster for FURIA. And you see it. I mean, they're trying to pull out some novelty. We've seen it in other regions, as they've mentioned on the desk. You mentioned it here, Riv, but seems as though it doesn't really phase NRG at all.
No.
They play their own game, and from A to Z, top to bottom, aggression to protocols, they're just winning in every aspect so far.
It depends on how they play this. I wonder, it does look like MWZera is going to want to stick with the team. We leave Conan to the lurk, because you would expect the Viper to be kind of trolling about. But is this the impact they need? MWZera is going to have a little bit tougher time reaching the distance that Havoc is if the gate crash isn't set up. The flashes have to hit way deep into sight, so Noswer and MWZera have to combine those if they're not playing for separate flash positions. Takes a lot to get this in order, but it is not impossible, just harder to orchestrate as FURIA gets into the site rather than the Jet and the Raze.
And definitely not impossible too when you're looking at this double duelist setup down for FURIA. Remember, Havoc used to be just a demon here as a duelist player going into challengers out in Brazil. Was being scouted out, had potential to join or at least in talks in a couple of these partnership teams, and chose FURIA here in the end. So going back into a duelist role, maybe the main one to try to bring in the entry for the team. You'll see MWZera following behind that secondary entry with this double duelist composition. They look pretty good for double duelist on NRG on their attack side. Hopefully FURIA has something here, something left in the tank in this pistol round. Just a very slow first contact though, waiting for the orb to come up. As soon as it pops, NRG's closing that gap. Early paranoia. Players are staying behind. Now a TP inside the site. MWZera and Havoc. The two we wanted to create the space, get it done. But we went back and forth. Demon 1 is now solo. Raid boss with a sheriff. Dash available. Plat going down for Noswer, who also has a flash.
Really cool entry into the site. Talk about it in a second, because Demon 1.
It might take a couple of other seconds before he lands another shot into Khalil, but
his dash is still up. A smoke just came up for Khalil if he even feels safe enough to use it and create some space. But right now, I feel like Demon 1 will use it anything against him.
Khalil understood that, so he's playing back. He's gonna play the clock.
I mean, hearing that sheriff, you don't want to give.
He can shot! Why? Khalil is trying to find a timing. Demon 1 flicks across and manages to come out of that at 100 HP. Oh, what a play. What a Red Bull clutch.
Why does he use anything automatic? Just get the Guardian and the Sheriff. So this entry was awesome, right? The Raze does go in. The gate crashes right there with the Raze as Havoc is trying to protect the position. But it did not work at all in this flick.
Disgusting.
Nice! Jeez.
Oh, they're having fun.
And now you know why you will always see a Sheriff in the hands of Demon 1 on pistol round. You're seeing a lot of Jets, but there's impact frags behind that history. FURIA call the time out. They're forcing into this one, but NRG looks like they're going to put this one on the game point for themselves with how they've been playing and how sure they are about playing behind each other on these retakes.
I mean, if I was the coach, I'd be furious as well and call the timeout there after losing that 1v2 where the spike was planted. It's for you. You got perfect entries. The game plan, at least enter towards the A site, worked out in your favor. But again, you're playing against one of the best duelists that we currently have here in Valorant, being Demon 1. You can't do any type of mistakes.
Yeah.
That slight mistake, you saw the result.
Well, it was a different wall that we saw from NRG the first time. It came from the rafter area down through straight here. So they were able to really get themselves set up in behind that spot that allowed 2 or 3 more kills to come in on site entry. So really, really nicely done by NRG for that different setup to catch FURIA off guard.
Now with that plant, you know you're trailing behind here by 9 points. FURIA goes for a buy. Stinger's in a judge. Havoc with only 1 satchel in that judge. He's gonna try to, oh no! Oh. Yeah, everybody felt it. Face plant. Right into the wall. Decays, corrodes, rusts, dies. That's not gonna make things any easier here for the rest of FURIA. NW0 trying to make some noise. There's no really TP to meet up with his teammates, so with that initial noise, it's just grouping back up. Trying to play the contact up through the B heavens. And NRG, they want to play the man advantage.
Air toxins going up.
Slow take onto site.
And they're starting to understand it. The paranoia came through just to clear towards the back of the site to get NW0 back there with that TP. NRG will have a lot of util.
30 seconds left.
Flash, paranoia, paint shells, and a dash here already activated by Demon 1. First contact through one on the rafters. There's that first kill. Spotted a second one at the default boxes. NW0 that was trying to push forward, and we're pinching in from all angles. NRG, they'll get the defuse, and already at that point.
Nicely done on the retake. Expected round here as FURIA forcing in, doing everything they can to even do damage to get to the site, but NRG is offering up nothing but frags right now. Marv getting that call, the play towards Vent, not even a consideration. And yeah, even coming out of the timeout, seeing a strategy not work is so deflating when you're trying to put those last efforts into the mix. And NRG just shuts them right down. Still a bit to buy, but it's going to be low as NRG go into this bonus. Playing a bit of mid control, but back towards A site and B. As the shots ring out from FURIA here. And this lurk is expected.
Buddy system now for two players on the top of the A ramp for NRG. That's Demon 1 and Crashy's just behind. Crashy's not even needed.
But what's that? What is that peak though? What was the swing? Why was it one and then the other?
Yeah.
It
Marv
just seems like the setup isn't there.
They're just pushing everywhere as well for NRG. Dropping the lurks here on middle two. I just want to close out the map. Everybody's really holding W at this point, and FURIA is now pinned towards the entrance of even A site at the orb. Finally, NW0 gets spotted. That paranoia allows here for both players to move up from behind. Yeah, Victor misses a couple of shots, but you know the end result. A full roster against NW0, and that will close out the first map, 13-2 in favor of NRG.
NRG are just pushing down on FURIA right now, and we actually saw it really come to light at the end there with how they were trying to orchestrate against what NRG had to defend with. Beautiful round. Just speaking the way the NRG played that, a lot of times Demon 1, yeah, was able to come up with some frags, but the map movement, the overall IGLing and macro this game almost had NRG not seeing FURIA until the spike was being planted a lot of these rounds after maybe a first few utility uses in mid or at A. They avoided FURIA so well on the attack side.
To be honest, it almost looks like Ethan was playing Valorant on easy mode. Just like, hey, let's four men push towards the site and just get kills, and I'll just wait here and do assists, you know? So NRG really didn't have to show too much on their map, but split against FURIA, and they win this first one, 13-2 on split. Next one coming up will be happening on Breeze.
Party's over. Yeah. One enemy remaining. Spike down.
Ramp, pushing ramp. All right, that's good.
Hey guys, it's Jimmy Lin. In this series, I'm going to walk you through attack on Pearl. Watch out for the stairs, clear this angle. You're going to be able to fight this.
Look what I've just made. The perfect pearl.
Not too bad, but check this out.
Whoa, a true Venus clam.
Red Bull gives you wings.